let's take our swing from this to this. Okie dokie. So in your starting position, you have your legs a little further than shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knee. You have one hand by the base, one hand by the head. Bring the axe up, overhead, and then use that dominant hand to guide the axe down and bring your hands together. But let's add a bit of power. So in order to add a bit more power, we gotta drive a bit more with our hips. So from the same starting position, you're gonna use your hips and glutes to drive the axe up, and then as the axe is coming down, you're squatting down as well. And really think about slicing right through the target. You also want to make sure it's a nice fluid motion. And if you're wanting to add a little extra, you can come up onto your toes and then really plant your heels as you're making contact with the wood. And of course, you're going to be adjusting your level of power depending on what you're splitting. Like a smaller piece is probably not going to need full force. Unless it's really naughty. Okie dokie. Whereas a bigger round is probably going to need a couple power swings to get that initial chop. And if you want to get really spicy, instead of going straight up and down, you can go around and down. There it goes. Instead of just going straight up and down, you can go around and down. Here's straight up, not bad, and around. A little bit more pressure. Now, your axe is a blade, so we want to make sure we use it. So instead of just letting the blade drop straight down, we're going to add a little flick to get that cut in there. The flick is achieved by a subtle and quick motion. As the blade touches the wood, bring your wrists upward. This helps the blade to sweep across instead of hammer down.
Please note that these motions are exaggerated for educational purposes.
Also keep in mind that you're not forcing the axe down. You're just setting yourself up in the proper position and utilizing physics to let the axe do its job. And no matter how heavy your axe is, or if you're using a wood-splitting sword, the basic mechanics behind the chop remain the same. I also find it's more beneficial for your swing to have a handle with a curve in it, because it kind of puts your hands in a good flow path, so you get a better sense of where you are on the axe, and it has a very distinct end knob, which is pretty useful. In summary, once you've measured the distance between you and your target, hoist the axe up overhead, propel it forward, drive it down, and chop that wood. Remember that a swing is a full body movement, from your feet to your hips to your hands. And I hope that helped with your wood chopping journeys. Happy splitting!